All right, gentlemen, today's debate. Do you still tip your waiters and waitresses even after bad service?
Yes.
Huh. Why?
Because they get paid off tips. Even if you don't have to, I'm not saying you tip like a good amount. Just $1. You give them $1, $2.
Okay, but my question is, right? Why would you still tip even after bad service? Here's my thing, right? I work in moving for a living, right? If I were to, you know, do a job, even be at the same place all day for a clean out, sometimes I don't get tipped. Do I take my anger out on the next customer? No. Like,
It's not taking your anger out. If like you have to. I guess it depends on what your definition of bad service is. Like, is he cussing you out and screaming at you, or is he just taking a long time?
well, hold that thought. Juan, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
All right, cool.
You finally cut back in after like the first 2 minutes.
All right. So that was weird.
Yeah.
At any rate, as I was saying, my thing is this, right? Everybody knows that jobs suck in general. Everyone knows that. You know what I'm saying? That's like universal knowledge. If you're an adult, you have a job, you most likely don't like your job. Unless you're one of those few people that found your dream job and you love that shit. And which, good for you.
Bastards.
Lucky you. Must be nice. However, like us regular Americans, we have to deal with jobs that deal with terrible customers, terrible managers, terrible coworkers, so on and so forth. However, it is, I guess you could say, it is a societal rule that you still provide excellent customer service in which you will be rewarded for. Now, there are people who don't tip after good customer service in which they are assholes. They should probably not go dining out if they're not going to tip a waiter for good service. However, if the waiter or waitress is, not even checking in on us, our table's still full of like dishes and stuff, the menu's still there, so on and so forth. And then not only that, but the waiter or waitress has a bad attitude towards probably my mom, in which that's the wrong person to have a bad attitude towards. Now that snowballs into a whole nother situation in which my mom probably not going to pay for the meal, and she'll tell the manager that. So it will behoove you, especially if you come across customers like that, that you still that you take whatever happened prior to that on the chin and focus on the task and situation at hand. You're serving these set of customers who haven't done anything to you yet. So you work for that tip. Now, I probably know where you're going with this argument, Kenny. Servers don't get paid much. Well, here's the thing. From what I heard, they've raised the pay for servers. Not just by a couple of dollars either. Just a little bit below minimum wage from what I was told. I can't confirm nor deny that. However, even if, there isn't there hasn't been a significant raise as such. A friend of mine, she used to be a server, and her take was that when you sign up for the job, you know what you're signing up for. You know you're not getting paid much. You know you're going to be depending on those tips. So you'd be a fool to expect a tip regardless of your attitude towards those customers. And which that's a fair point.
Even with that, you can still give $1. You don't have to leave them completely tipless. Like giving them 0 tip, you can give $1, bro.
I'll give him a penny.
Juan's so disrespectful, B.
Take it or leave it. You get. I mean, it's something.
Yeah, that is true. However, it's like I don't know if you been a real jerk. It's one thing if you just like slip up and it's crowded. In which that point I'd understand. Like you got a number of other tables to wait. All right, I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you're still, nice and sweetheart, I'll still tip you full, But if you're a real dick about things, just your attitude towards me and the situation, like I'd be able to determine all that. Like if it's, a slow day, you're still being an asshole and you're not taking care of us at the table. Like, why should I tip you? Like you didn't necessarily do the service that we needed you to do to make our dining experience the best possible. That's like if I were to come in somebody's house and absolutely fuck up their furniture and walls and so on and so forth and still expect a tip after the whole job. I'd be crazy to.
Tip the waiter, man. Stop being a dick.
It's not a matter of being a dick. It's a matter of keeping that same energy.
Tip the waiter.
If they're doing a good job. I'm not tipping a bad job, Ken. I'll die on that hill.
Tip the waiter.
I will die on that hill. And somebody else told me, well, don't go out dining then. I don't.
Tip the server.
I don't, because if I do come across that, that's exactly the energy I'm gonna keep. I'm not gonna tip you because you signed up for this job and expect to get paid by tips, like regardless of how you act. Like, nah, that's not how I operate.
Tip your server. Stop making excuses.
That's no excuse. That's actually a fair trade,
Tip your server.
No.
Like honestly, you should only tip if it's necessary.
It's always necessary. That's how they make their living.
It's not.
Tip the server.
Again, they knew what they signed up for.
Yep. So they know that either they get a tip or they not. They can't get mad at that.
And when they take your card and get themselves a tip for $100, you know why.
I'm calling the bank.
Exactly.
So somebody's getting in trouble for fraud now. Like, now they're getting fired from their job. Maybe their next job be something of a more considerable wage where they don't depend on tips.
Tip the servers. Both of y'all are jerks. Tip the servers.
I'm not a jerk. I'm only a jerk when somebody's a jerk to me, and that's the case. This is the case.
Tip your server.
I can, buddy. If we went out to dinner together, we probably would be friends by the end of it. But because I tell you can tip him. I'm not.
Tip him.
And then the whole ride home, I'm gonna give you an earful about why you should have even tipped them. And your response is just gonna be tip your server, and I'm giving you reason after reason why you probably should have tipped that server.
Tip the server because he did his job and the food came out.
The fuck he did?
Tip the server.
I might as well just went up to the bar and got the food myself.
Tip the
all
server.
that.
But you didn't, did you? So tip him and shut up.
That's why I don't go out dying, man. I'm not gonna have a motherfucker make me tip over shitty service. I will whoop your ass.
Tip $2. Just $2. 2, 4, 6. You get $6 from a table full of 8 people.
They'll give about 2 cents instead.
Just tip them. I don't understand.
No. What? No, because
give them a tip. You just don't want to tip, man.
No, it's not the fact that I don't want to tip.
I used to be a stingy tipper. I used to not want to tip at all. I used to give like $1 tip for everything. Now I've gotten become a better tipper.
My thing is, if I don't got it, I don't go out to eat. But nowadays, even if I do got it, I don't go out to eat. Why? Because I don't want to come across a situation like that, and then somehow, some way, I look like the asshole. Get the fuck out of here, man. No, absolutely not. So that is live via satellite. It is Gorilla Gang Podcast, episode 84. I am your empathetic yet foul mouth at this point, third of the show. Young Raspy God, Carlos Crawford, aka Chip Music Charlie. Hey, Kenny, thanks again for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Tip your server.
No. AKA Thick Flair. As you know, oh so very well, I am probably the finest connoisseur of beautiful women. I'm talking about women with the fupas, you know, the big girls.
Do you tip them?
Depends on the service. AKA Snack Miller. And you can pass that the kid who rocking snapbacks, steady blowing his hash back until my thoughts are abstract. AKA Gelato Graham. The more I smoked, the better I got. So they gave me a blunt or doobie a quarter rule. They called it the Graham a quarter rule, which I've gotten backwards on some occasions.
Yeah.
A quarter of gram? I'm wilding. AKA.
Yeah, you are.
Haystack West. Oh, I got nothing for you, Haystack. There's a cholera outbreak going on. Why aren't you even home? Well, if I could read, I would have gotten the news. Perhaps you should learn then, huh? Moose, has being educated got you anywhere in life?
Nope.
Exactly. Because we're black people in the post-war era. Well, Moose, not much we can do.
It's still nice to be smart.
Sure. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself to these people, I suppose.
Guess I'll give it a shot. My name is Kenneth Whitaker, a.k.a. Henderson, the original owner of the Millennial Falcon. God damn it, Cal Resident, stay still.
Oh, he finally caught him.
Yeah, I caught it.
Excellent.
Now I'm gonna show you what I did to your buddy Han. So you can know what it was for him before he had.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
You know what? I'm gonna sit you there. I'm just gonna let you suffer. Hey, Last Black Jedi, I do or do not, there is no try. You try me, I'm gonna hit you with a super kick that's stronger than any super kick ever before.
Slightly less stronger than mine, though. So.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. That's right. Hey, Black Hot Rod. Just from the thing to have all the answers, I changed the questions. Turn the music on.
These days, I spend my time in my house practicing on my bagpipe.
Mm-hmm. Juan, where's the haggis? Nigga muted himself.
Yeah. Juan just disappeared on us.
Bruh, that's so funny. That man said, I'm tired of y'all.
Yeah.
AKA, Nacho Man, I'm a sandwich. Yes. See, everybody's up in a panic about this pandemic called the coronavirus or virus or tyrus or whatever it is. I tell you this, the Nacho Man is immune to panic music. Nacho Man
Indeed.
doesn't panic. The only thing the Nacho Man does is simply go through what he's playing. Yeah, but it's not always just as simple as A to Z, A, B, C. Sometimes you gotta see a hole and know a hole. And once you know a hole, you can dispose of a hole like disposable trash bag. Yeah. But see, what I do with those bags, I like to put them all over my body as a hazmat. So any germs that may try to penetrate the Nacho Man's area, like a hose loving infection, won't get through the Nacho Man, Randy Savage, Nacho Man, I'm a savage. My cousins, brothers, sister, uncles, aunties, because I don't care what a whole sees of me. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nacho Man, I'm a Savage, live from his hand sanitizer jacuzzi. Back to you, Gorilla.
Get to sanitize hand cream. Ah, yes, love it. AKA Mr. Ghost Slick Vodka. Can you just give me a bottle of Ghost Slick Vodka? Ghost Slick? Get the Ghost Slick Vodka, man. That's Rebecca. Don't forget that.
We brought this AKA full circle.
Guys, this is a lot of stuff. So what?
Yeah, that is great. That's great stuff. I love it.
Yeah. AKA the very sexual. Very tight.
Very tight, yes.
Austin Powers, Faja.
Wait, it's Faja?
That is Faja.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to travel through time. I bid you adieu. That's not on, is it? Do you think we can maybe...
Nah, he jumps in the jump. Don't be afraid, mini-me.
Right. Oh my gosh. AKA the one and only
That's what it's called himself now.
Bill Cosby. Nah. See, Carlos, what you fail to understand is that even though you push a buzzer to try to undermine my tactics, the sound of success remains the same. Whenever that sound is around, my pudding angel minions surround any woman I please. See, once you have pushed the buzzer again, every time the buzzer sounds, there is a sound of success taking place, even though social distancing is around. Even if it's in the toilet, or in a cup, or in a bottle, the greatest sound that you can hear is still being done. Nah. 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 We are back.
Shame on me for using my comedic mind to further that buzzer sound. Not even the buzzer sound, the drip sound. Like, I'm a terrible person for this.
I'm the one that suggested it.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Matter of fact, play it one more time, son, to later. Nah. Hey, the funny thing is, I can picture him that will go unnamed by real name, allegedly being happy with that sound. Like I picture him doing it, and then like a big smirk, just like slowly turn on his face once he hear it. Like play it one more time. He go like this. Rudy, drink up.
You know, him and his weird ass face is solely more along the lines of.
What he do when he was walking? Oh yeah, he's like. Hey, what he do when he was walking up? He was walking out the courtroom, bruh, and like the cameras on, he was like this. I was like, what the hell are you doing?
Wow.
Boy, boy, that is not a time to try to make faces, boy. You big. Like, oh, you too old to be doing that, bruh.
Meanwhile, at one R&B singer that has a knack for singing about children.
Oh, R. Kelly.
He wants out of the prison because this coronavirus situation is like, no, that's why
Coronavirus.
Welcome back.
That's exactly why you're in the prison. You know what I'm saying? That's the point.
But you
My
know
bad, I
what's funny?
disappeared. I had to take a Larry.
Oh God,
Larry.
Yeah, I had to take a Larry.
that means shit.
Yeah.
That's shit.
Which neither one of y'all are for that.
No, because we be on PlayStation and he won't say nothing. He'll just go away and he be like, "My bad, I had to take a shit."
So it's just
why
like
you ain't say nothing.
it was just Irish goodbye and just like randomly come back. Not even make the announcement. Excuse me for a second. Like nothing. Yep. Hold on, I'll be back. Something.
He just walk off and be like, "Larry, where you at, bro?" Like, "Oh, my bad, I had to take a shit." Or why you ain't say something?
God damn it. Not gonna lie, I like his style.
That's terrible.
Like his style.
Juan, you miss the greatest AKA of all time.
Why is my camera quality like so crispy?
Why are you pushing the buzzer? Because I'm telling him he missed the greatest AKA of all time.
Oh, I did. Dang it.
Yep.
I was here for.
You know who it is when you listen closely.
It's Bill Cosby.
No, it's Bill Cosby.
Oh, Bill.
And because he missed it, play him the sound of success.
Man, I ain't shit, man. I couldn't say no. Anymore. But here we are. I can't help it now. We're here now. We gotta own it.
Hey, bruh. That sound is
That's amazing
to my ears.
That's amazing. Oh man. Oh God, I needed that.
I told you, Los, it'd be hilarious.
That was
You ever notice how people have my sauce to get on?
Please stop.
What's in the sauce, Los? You know what to do? Push. Hey, bro. Okay, come on, yo. Let's. What you got for us?
I'm absolutely ashamed.
quick 48 minutes.
What?
That's a quick 48 minutes.
It's only been 24.
It's 24. It's 48 when we on the total call. Yeah.
Well, 30 of that was that Jones section.
Yes.
We wasn't reporting yet.
No, we
Yeah,
weren't.
but that's the length of the entire call, my friend.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, this week in wrestling was.
I don't even bother watching anymore.
Well, the thing is that they're doing this whole thing with the.
Coronavirus.
Well, it's empty arena, but they'll do like a couple of matches. Well, at least on WWE, they'll do a couple of matches. Then they'll do a recap of a pay-per-view match, like it's WWE Superstars on Saturday morning or some shit. And then maybe they'll come back to like the rest of the show.
Oh, that was perfectly timed. I'm sorry. You can't say that wasn't perfectly timed when he did it.
I'm probably not even gonna watch WrestleMania this Sunday.
WrestleMania is this
next Sunday.
I say
Next
WrestleMania
Sunday.
is this Sunday.
Oh, next Sunday. My bad.
I don't even know anymore, but it's supposed to be a 2-night event.
Yep.
Stupid.
How is that going to work? Like,
Are they gonna put the bum matches on Saturday and the good matches on Sunday?
this is
No, I
actually
think they incorporating NXT's pay-per-view on Saturday and then WWE's on Sunday.
So basically, they're going commingle takeover with WrestleMania. So basically, Saturday is going to be takeover still.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're just going to call it WrestleMania now since it's not. It shouldn't be its own pay-per-view. Maybe that's what they start doing now. Who knows? Maybe they do start incorporating NXT into the pay-per-views now, because they are the third brand now. They're not the D League anymore.
This is gonna be dumb because there's not gonna be any fans in it, and the Performance Center is small.
And then Roman already said he's not fighting.
Yeah, Roman said I'm not in it.
I'm fine with that.
Me too.
That means we stuck with Goldberg.
First things first, I
don't
want
want
to see a Roman Reigns match anyway. Second of all, it's very smart that he pulls out because of this coronavirus situation, because that could aggravate his leukemia and bring it back. So that was very smart of him to do. However, I'm not mad at that decision at all, because I would have probably skipped over that match anyway.
But now, who's gonna fight Goldberg for the title?
Probably Braun Strowman, which Goldberg retains.
Braun Strowman. So I'm coming out there and I'm gonna give Goldberg these hands.
Hey yo, CM Punk come out. I'm reaching like always.
He's not coming out.
I know.
It'd be nice to think about. Has he even been on WWE backstage, or is that just that?
No,
no, he has.
Has he?
Yeah, I've seen like a few episodes with him on there.
Has he been on there?
It hasn't been recently.
Not every week though, but he I don't know.
That nigga came back for 2 weeks, set the world on fire, and disappeared again.
That seems on brand for CM Punk, if you ask me.
That nigga
seems very on brand for CM Punk.
I'm back talking wrestling, then I'm gone again.
The KKK scene is up. Let me put the subtitles on.
Yes, please. Yes.
So I could see.
Speaking of wrestling and KKK stuff, and and what the KKK consists of.
What?
That Benoit documentary.
Oh, I don't know. Were you trying to connect Chris Jericho between those two subjects?
No, I was trying to connect Chris Benoit to the KKK.
That was a terrible segue, Kenny. Awful.
You know how they never mind, I don't want to say it.
Oh my God!
Like that had been terrible. That had been terrible.
Now
Benoit's
a racist?
No, it's not him being racist. It's I don't want to. Let's just say it involves gravity.
Okay. All right. Everything about this segue is just everything about this segue just awful.
It's bad. Yeah, that's why I didn't say.
you really stuck to your guns on that, huh? When you realize it was terrible, you was like, all right. How can we make this much worse?
How can I make it much worse? No.
How can I make this dark?
I'm not trying to make it dark.
Your man said gravity. Oh, I hate you. Oh, man.
What's wrong with gravity?
Yeah, Jericho didn't say no N-word.
No?
Nah, he didn't.
He lied to me, dog.
I looked like when the clip you showed me, it sounded like he said the N-word.
That being said, Jericho's still Teflon.
And even if he did say it, he'd get a pass.
Chris Jericho managed to play a KKK member role in the movie and still not use the N-word.
So why Stone Cold couldn't be a racist and a guard and not say the N-word?
Because it's near impossible to be a racist guard and not say the N-word, Kenny.
It's near impossible to be a KKK leader and not say the N-word.
This is also true. You have an excellent point. However, prison guard is much more grittier. It gets under the skin of the black prisoners.
How does it get under the skin more than a Klansman?
Yeah, you're bringing up excellent points, buddy. There's a way around this, but I can't.
Nigga, you see a Klansman, you like, oh shoot, I know he don't like my ass.
Ready. The script called for it. I don't know. That's my only excuse for it.
You gotta keep that fire around you in Mississippi.
What would you rather Stone Cold call Nelly, a jig? Horse monkey?
I would rather call him a Negro or a color.
So you understand how weak that would have made that scene, do you?
Well, anybody want to read about 4-eyed colored?
That sounds like a terrible BET dub.
Why anybody want to read about 4-eyed Negro?
Yeah, no.
You 4-eyed black guy?
No.
4-eyed colored?
No. It don't hit that hard.
You don't gotta hit hard.
That hard R.
You 4-eyed African American.
That hit different. You know what I'm saying?
4-eyed minority.
Would that offend you, Kenny? No.
Yeah, don't call me no 4-eyed colored, nigga. You colored.
Kenny, you are 4-eyed. and you are colored.
Don't call me no 4-eyed colored. These are two guys.
But Kenny, you're not a nigger with the hard R. You know what I'm saying?
Don't call me a 4-eyed colored.
You see how close he got up to the camera so he could see?
This
I
nigga
see,
ain't got
bitch.
no eyes with the glasses on.
I can see.
You like, hi.
And your eyes look like mine.
They look the same once I put these glasses on.
Yo.
You can't see my eyes.
You like the white off a Scary Movie too. He took his glasses off and his eyes went cross-eyed.
Kenny, I'm not saying this to go on you, but you know how when Velma loses her glasses and she's
Chinkies,
like,
my glasses.
Your eyes look smooth like Velma's when she's looking for her glasses and shit.
I can't find my glasses.
And honestly, the magnifying I get, but it's like, how does that even work? Like, not even with just you. I mean, in general, because it's with Juan too, low key.
Jinkies.
I never
Shut
understood.
up, Juan. Sick of you.
I never understood that. That always confused the hell out of me.
A teenager has died.
Optical illusion, I guess. I don't know, man.
Really, Juan?
Yeah, a teenager just died from the corona.
Oh boy. That's not the news we need to hear.
I went to spring break.
I don't like this news at all. I don't care for it at all.
Fine. But anyway, that Benoit documentary was really good, man. Jericho was a good man in wrestling.
The first half really broke my heart. It really did.
When Chavo had to have Eddie in his arms and he
oh my God. son, I legit teared up. Like,
Yeah, that was bad.
That's the last thing you want to see. Like your uncle, like watching your uncle die. You know what I'm saying? That has to do something to you psychologically. Then not only that, he had to break the news to Chris.
Yeah, which is horrible. Even worse.
And he said that, you know, this is normally a guy that doesn't show emotion. And over the phone, he just heard a loud, like, pain wail. And I'm like, as soon as he said that, like, that broke my heart, bro. It really did. Like, I don't mean to, like, try to glorify a murderer or suicidist, but that legit broke my heart because that was the start of the road to ruin. And you could tell from how Chavo said it. Like, when Chavo said it, it made you go, had Eddie not have died, like,
It wouldn't have happened. Pretty much.
it would have never happened. It would have never happened. Chris needed Eddie. That was his best friend. You know what I'm saying? And imagine losing your best friend. That's heavy business. That is heavy business. That will fuck with you a certain way. And not only that, his worst enemy was his finisher.
Right.
So that didn't help either.
Yeah, they was on the documentary. They were saying like everybody that told him not to do the daggone diving headbutt, and he still did it.
He still did it, and that's why they outlawed it after.
Mm-hmm.
Everything got outlawed because of daggone Benoit. So they won't have concussions and stuff like that. No more chair shots to the head and everything. That all happened because of Benoit.
Right. Exactly. However, let me present to you, gentlemen, an alternative universe. Right? What if Chris Benoit never snapped?
He would be a multiple-time champion, possibly in the Hall of Fame right now. Or possibly still wrestling. Who knows?
It would take a little later for him to snap.
Him and his son possibly be tag team champions. Who knows?
But instead of snapping on Nancy, he's snapping like Vicky or something.
I just found it weird how Benoit took. I just found it weird how Benoit took his wife from an abusive relationship, but he the one that actually killed her. That was the crazy thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He's going to snap later, but it's not on Nancy. He's going to snap on like Dean Malenko or something.
Okay. All right.
Not Eddie!
Let's get in depth. Right?
Kenny terrible, bro.
just fucking awful.
That nigga said, "You're not Eddie."
Kenny is the worst. The worst. However, let me roll out the carpet for the alternate universe. All right. So, Chris Benoit never snaps. Right? And in order for this alternative storyline to happen, Eddie never dies. All right, let's start there because we've all concluded that Eddie dying was what started that path. That's what set them on the path, on the brink, right?
Yep. He's still going to snap because he's still doing that diving headbutt.
It takes an alternative take. He doesn't necessarily snap. Let me present it to you, Kenny. So let's start in 2007, right? Because Chris Benoit doesn't die, that storyline where Vince blows up in a limo, yeah, that story continues.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Benoit doesn't kill Woman and Daniel that weekend. Shows up to Vengeance. Beats CM Punk. Becomes ECW champ. And becomes the face of ECW. Right? So Benoit goes on to dominate ECW, starting with John Morrison, who was Johnny Nitro at the time. And that rivalry runs through Great American Bash and SummerSlam. So from Vengeance to SummerSlam. Meanwhile, on Raw, Steph and Triple H is beefing with Shane over who runs the company. All right? Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, there's an illegitimate child storyline. So it's a whole whodunit of who killed Vince, who's the illegitimate child. This makes for great TV. And it raises Raw to up about 6 million at this time because there's no ratings drop because Benoit is still alive. Right? Triple H and Shane end up fighting at SummerSlam, in which midway through that match, fucking Mr. Kennedy comes out, right?
Kennedy.
Yeah. Benoit snaps on him and puts him in the Crippler Cross face.
Let go of the snappage, Kenny. Let it go.
I meant snapping like wrestling snapping, like submissions.
Oh, okay.
See?
All right, I'll let that pass. So, so that being said, Mr. Kennedy comes out and reveals that he is the illegitimate son. And in his hand is Vince's will, bespoking him the entire company. All right.
Interesting.
Back over at ECW, Benoit goes on a warpath. He runs through Elijah Burke at Unforgiven, Viscera at No Mercy. Mind you, ECW doesn't really have that much competition. That's why it's easy for him to run it, pretty much.
So he's just constantly snapping through the roster.
Yes, you're borderlining on. You know what you're doing, Kenny. Miz at Cyber Sunday.
What? What am I doing?
You know what you're doing.
I'm not doing anything.
You're now taking that word and making it a joke.
What, snapping?
Yes.
He snap. Right.
Juan, do you approve?
Yeah, for the most part.
Thank you.
All right, we'll let it slide. All right.
Thank you.
So Benoit beats Miz at Cyber Sunday, in which Miz doesn't rock with that defeat. He enlists John Morrison's help to take him out at Survivor Series in a triple threat match, in which Benoit still beats both of them definitively. Well, we get Well, we get to Armageddon at the end of the year, and Benoit barely beats Mark Henry. So, meanwhile on Raw, Kennedy becomes a power-hungry manager, as we saw coming. He even occasionally puts himself in title matches just to mess around and lose. However,
Corbin.
However, John Cena gets hurt, and Mr. Kennedy makes himself champ by default. And when he makes himself champ by default, he actually holds it for the rest of the year. Before we get into the next year, I want to point out there's still no wellness policy, and there's still steroid using headshots. What a time!
Lord. Steroids and headshots.
We about to find the name of our episode.
The sound of success?
No. Steroids and headshots.
We used sound of success already.
Steroids, headshot, and CTE.
Steroids, headshot, CTE, and snappage.
Oh my God. That's a lot to name in a title.
All
right.
Snapping.
That's probably going to be the episode title too. Well, we have choices. So let's get to 2008, shall we? Well, CM Punk ends up beating Chris Benoit at the Royal Rumble, in which he wins the ECW championship. That feud runs into WrestleMania, in which Benoit turns heel in the process. Meanwhile, in the Royal Rumble match, Triple H wins the Royal Rumble instead of John Cena, because mind you, Cena's injured.
Triple H.
Yes. In which now Triple H can represent Stephanie to exact revenge on Mr. Kennedy at WrestleMania. However, up to WrestleMania, Kennedy decides to fuck with Triple H, with heel tactics that a manager can bestow upon a superstar. Multiple handicap matches.
Tell you, this sounds like a daggone WWE universe mode daggone scenario. I would legit do something like this.
I mean, it is, but there are some things that you could do that you can't. There's some things that you can't do. That's going on in the story. So yeah, I hear you on that. You're preaching to the choir. Now, we finally get to WrestleMania. Benoit loses to CM Punk.
Cult of personality.
Meanwhile, Triple H beats Kennedy. Now, the following night on Raw, WrestleMania Monday, as we like to call it, Kennedy gets ready to fire Triple H. However, before he can utter the words, "You're fired," a familiar theme song interrupts him. Nope, not that one, Kenny.
No events.
No chance in hell interrupts him. Vince does that ridiculous ass walk down to the ring. He returns to confront the situation at hand. He faked his death to see who could run the company properly, in which all four of them failed. With that being said, he takes back control and realizes, I can't die. I have to live forever. Which seems very on brand of Vince to say.
That's crazy.
Right? All right. So, however, Kennedy stays in the WWE instead of going off to TNA like in real life. Until 2012, he wins 2 more championships rather than crashing and burning on TNA.
Something's telling me you was a big Kennedy fan.
No. God, no.
Oh.
I hated his guts.
Mr. Garbagey.
Who the fuck does he think he is announcing himself to the ring?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mr. Anderson.
That was the
fucking
dumbest
Sam
thing ever.
Cooke microphone. Like, what the fuck? No. You're not selling me on that.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing
Not
I've
selling
ever
me
seen
at
in my
all.
life.
Yeah, that was terrible.
You said what?
Yeah, that was terrible.
This is true. So,
I'd rather have Chris Masters as the champion.
who?
Dang, people at Flowers and High Point got coronavirus.
Where?
At Flowers and High Point
Goodness.
got coronavirus.
Coronavirus!
The employee.
Getting real.
Yeah, there was an employee around the corner from my house at Whetstone that got coronavirus.
Don't go to Hampton Lane licking. Don't go to Hampton Lane licking wine. Somebody there got tested positive for coronavirus too.
Ooh-wee. Stay safe out there, folks. Now, due to Punk winning the ECW championship, he never wins Money in the Bank. Therefore, he never cashes in to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Therefore, he doesn't get that push.
No CM Punk push?
Yeah, we need a
And
CM Punk push. We need
however,
CM Punk will be the one that goes to TNA.
Yeah.
We'll go back to TNA because he was already in TNA.
Was he?
Yep. He was part of Raven's crew.
the flop.
Yep.
Wow, I did not know that.
I remember that like yesterday.
Learned something new today. All right, so, however, he does become the face of ECW in 08, for what it's worth. And at this point, Chris Benoit has built that brand to be a legitimate brand. So, that being said, Benoit gets drafted to SmackDown. If you recall, around that time, Undertaker and Edge were feuding. Now, after that feud, Edge feuds with Benoit. Benoit wins his last championship on SmackDown.
All
right? Now, he holds it until Unforgiven, in which he loses to Chris Jericho.
What have I become?
Now, Jericho and Benoit feud through No Mercy and Cyber Sunday, in which Jericho sweeps. Therefore, we never get that ladder match against HBK that Jericho had either.
Oh.
In turn of that. That's the butterfly effect for you, Kenny.
Well.
Yeah. Benoit joins SmackDown's team in the Survivor Series match, in which that was the year Eddie. No, that wasn't the year. Eddie was dead in real life. In which Eddie was on Raw, and he turns on Raw to join Benoit on SmackDown.
Radicals reunion.
Pretty much.
Exactly. Bingo. So, we reached 2009. At this point, Benoit's 42. He's not really in that title race anymore. So, instead, he gets the streak match instead of Sean. Now, the basis of Chris Benoit's pursuit of claiming the streak is that Chris Benoit is a not only a seasoned veteran, but he takes pride in the business. And with that pride in the business comes the supernatural accolades that, need to be achieved in order to make that legacy bigger. So, in order to solidify his legacy, he goes after the streak. Well, he throws down the gauntlet, gets no response from the Undertaker. You know how this goes, guys.
Yeah.
He fucks with Undertaker's matches, no response. Not until he fucks up the Undertaker's Royal Rumble win, that's when he gets a response. Well, we get the WrestleMania 25, and, Benoit loses, but he gains the Undertaker's respect in the process, which not a lot of people can get. So for the rest of the year, he feuds with Jericho and Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. However, of course, he doesn't win it, but damn, is it a good feud. Imagine, boys. Imagine. No? No one? Okay. All right. Figured that cause a little conversation, Those are 3 WCW vets. Have a lot of history with each other. All right, fine. On to 2010. Benoit's 43 now. And, well, he keeps getting concussed. He participates in the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania and gets concussed for the second time in 4 months.
Yeah, retire.
This seems very on brand, if you ask me.
I don't know what happened, but I joined back in. So, yeah.
Well, what did you miss?
I don't know.
Where did you where
I wasn't gone for that long.
where'd you last leave off?
I heard you were talking about interfering, Undertaker's matches. Undertaker don't give him no response. You know what happens.
All right, so to bring you up to speed, Benoit loses at 25, gains Taker's respect, feuds with Jericho and Mysterio for the rest of the year for the Intercontinental Championship. Doesn't win it, but it's a damn good feud, in which I was waiting for a call or response from you guys. Juan had nothing. You weren't there.
I mean, like, I can live with that because he's old now, so he's pretty much like putting people over at this point, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's time for him to do what Cena should have did years ago and start playing.
Yeah, pretty much.
And with that being said, CM Punk never wins a second title.
Ooh, ouch.
And now he's getting fed up earlier than he did in real life.
Oh, so you bring in the pipe bomb.
We get an early pipe bomb.
Do we?
Yeah.
I will hope so. Can't play with my emotions like that, man. Not let the pipe bomb happen.
So
I don't dislike you, Chris.
So
that pipe bomb go to Chris instead of John.
By 2010, Chris Benoit is 43 and he keeps getting concussed. He participated in the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania, gets concussed for the second time in 4 months, which seems very on brand for Chris Benoit. WWE decided they got to shut his career down, and they finally introduced the concussion protocol.
Then he snaps.
So, Chris Benoit's last match is a retirement match at SummerSlam, in which his opponent is Daniel Bryan. Benoit goes quietly into the night, and he starts directing backstage on Raw.
Then he snaps.
God damn it, Kenny. He doesn't snap. There.
No snappage happening.
There we go. There's a finale in that. Can we stop that now, Kenny?
No, because he snapped somewhere. I just gotta find it.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't snap in the storyline, Kenny. Why? Because Eddie Guerrero is still alive, and he has no reason to snap, Kenny.
Mm-hmm. He got his best friend there to calm him
news.
down if he's going through stuff.
Exactly.
Breaking news. Woman passes away.
Kenny, I hate you. I hate you, though.
Where is Eddie?
Well, we'll get to that. So, with that being said, Benoit's retired by 2011. So here we are in 2011. Punk never gets a push after the ECW title. Therefore, we get no pipe bomb. And we also get no Summer of Punk.
You lost me now.
Yeah, CM Punk got completely robbed in the storyline up to a certain point. We'll get into that in a moment. In turn, Cena gets pushed harder because why not? And Daniel Bryan actually gets pushed big because, well, he retired Chris Benoit. And after that, that was the ultimate putover. And that made him a made man. However, in turn, the fans didn't really receive any of this well, and the ratings dropped. So let's move into 2012. Well, in 2012, CM Punk finally wins the championship at the Royal Rumble.
All
right? Mm-hmm. So the fans actually get what they want only later. However, we still have CM Punk in the company too, so this is good. The night before WrestleMania, Chris Benoit gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. As if you have to ask who inducts him.
Eddie.
Exactly.
Woman.
Whom, the following night, fights CM Punk for the championship at WrestleMania and wins. So, let's wrap up the year-by-year storyline by 2014.
Barely.
David Benoit joins NXT.
Okay.
So let's recap, gentlemen. Woman and Daniel Benoit are still alive in this timeline.
I'm mad y'all keep calling Nancy woman.
Woman.
I show Nancy Benoit some respect. All right. She was woman, damn it.
But she honestly shouldn't get like penalized for not being in the Hall of Fame.
It's by proxy.
It's kind of messed up.
And whom did it to her? Yeah, I agree. It's messed up. But on the other side of that fence, she also wasn't necessarily a WWE superstar either.
I mean, she was a good manager.
This is true. On WCW, though.
She was in WWF too, I believe.
You what?
I think so.
I don't recall.
I believe she was.
Oh, he spit on somebody's package. The Amazon dude spit on somebody's package.
At any rate, to continue. That Vince McMahon dying storyline continues, leading to a power struggle on Raw, in which they try to do that after, but it wasn't the same, if you recall. Chris Benoit runs ECW, which strengthens the brand in the process. Thus, ECW doesn't falter around 2008, 2009. Or, 2010, something like that? Whatever. Mr. Kennedy actually gets to push.
Ugh.
I know. WWE never turned PG in 08. All right? Punk eventually becomes ECW champ, but it gets rough for him for a while, as we noted. We're talking about a 3-year drop for CM Punk. Chris Benoit wins the championship in 08. We get no HBK versus
HBK.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Fuck,
no.
I almost drooled for a second. I was trying to catch my drool in the process. But all right, so we get no HBK and Undertaker 2-parter. It's only one match, and that's the career versus streak match directly after Benoit gets his shot against the Undertaker. And Chris Benoit ends up retiring to Daniel Bryan, who leads the next generation of technical superstars. In turn, because there is no murder-suicide, Chris Benoit becomes a Hall of Famer. He lives on to be a family man. A man that loves the business so much, he enjoys his job to this day. And he has a legacy that has been blacklisted, along with David, who gets to continue said legacy instead of, in turn, being blacklisted because of his father.
Okay. So no snap.
For the last time, Kenny, no one snaps. Chris Benoit in this alternative timeline is alive to this day, and he's directing this episode of SmackDown.
Breaking news. Woman passes away as well as Daniel.
You are a terrible person. Absolutely god-awful. Final thoughts, guys?
You're going to hell.
Well, yeah.
That's my final thought. Kenny's going to hell. Goodness gracious.
They call me the Rabbit Wolverine Net Breaker.
Mind you, this is a preacher. I want you to keep that in mind.
Neck breaker.
But yeah,
Ah!
but back to the little Benoit
Can you
story
just
real
do
quick.
your pastor on Wednesday night services for the teens and shit? And this is his brand.
Like that Benoit story, like I didn't know a lot of stuff that happened in that situation. I thought he killed like both of them at the same time. I didn't know he killed Nancy first and had her body just in the house rotting for 3 days. Then he kills his son. Like,
Yo,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what made me go, hold on. Like, he's off. Like,
Yeah.
This is not no. That's why Chavo was like, man, that wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, nah, because that doesn't seem normal. Like, especially if you're going to do something calculated as this, you would be hinged about it too. This seems like an unhinged act. Like,
Yeah.
he was just on the deep. He just went off the deep end outright, and that absolutely sucks because what could have been. You know what I'm saying? And it, like they said on the dot, you know, like Chris Jericho said, if he had known that this would have been the aftermath of his actions, he would have never done it because he was too dedicated to to the business in order to do so. If he knew that that act was going to blacklist him, he wasn't going to be talked about ever again on WWE television. He would never have a Hall of Fame induction. None of that. All that down the toilet because of what he did. And if he had known, like if he had gotten a heads up about that, something like that, that probably would have snapped him out of it too. You know
what?
If he had known that, you know, his entire legacy was going down the toilet, if he had done what he had did, he probably would have not have done it.
Yeah. I don't think he would have. Yeah, he wouldn't have done it.
Because there's somebody who never took a day off, who never asked for leave or anything like that.
I'm about to say, okay.
And for something like that to happen that particular weekend, everybody knew that wasn't normal. Like, everyone knew it wasn't normal. So it was like, for them to immediately know it wasn't normal, they knew that, you know, he wasn't in his right mind. And that was their tip. But by that time, it was too late.
Wait, breaking news. Trump approved the $2 trillion stimulus package, so I'm guessing we're all getting that $1,000.
Whoopee. They're probably going to put it towards student loans or something. I probably still won't get anything like they did with my taxes. You know what? Fed up with the government. But that's another story another time.
Yeah.
At any rate. So, but yeah, like, if he had known all that, he wouldn't have thrown it away like that. And he just wasn't in his right mind because of Eddie's death. And maybe if he had sought counseling for it or something like that, or if
I still don't think counseling would have helped him.
Probably not. I don't know. I doubt it, because they gave him a journal to, like, you know, like, to talk to Eddie, and that didn't work. So maybe not. You try to wonder what exactly could have been done to prevent the actions, but you don't really know. You can only wonder. So it's terrible that tragic that he got to that point, but we know why he got to that point. It doesn't excuse it, but we know why. And overall, it's just absolutely sad. That we'll never see him in the Hall of Fame.
Damn, niggas in the 7-Eleven faking for positive tests.
Yeah, yeah. That being said, my final thought is this: unless you are getting food, unless you are obligated to have to drive somewhere, like go to a doctor, something like that, take somebody to work, even because I have to take my brother to work or whatever every once in a while. I have to work on Sunday because I'm an essential worker. Uh, Otherwise, stay the fuck in the house. Like, it. I understand there are people that like being outside or being out and about. They don't like being in the house. But is your life worth having fun for a little bit when you can wait till all this passes over and have fun for as long as you can possibly live? Why would you cut your life short just for that little bit of time? You know what I'm saying? And it sucks that people aren't taking this shit seriously because, like you said, like you just reported, Juan, a teenager just died from this shit. So now we know that we're not immune to this. Like, it's not just old people dropping off of it. It's because the old people can't take that type of pain that the flu causes. Mm-hmm. It sends them into like pretty much a shock that, you know, sends them right over to death. Us being young, we're able to, our immune systems can combat that shit. So I've been hearing a lot about people getting sick around December or so. Like, I posted a post on Facebook. Meek Mill was saying that he got extremely sick around December. And he was saying that it may have been similar to what everybody's catching, and that what he was like, there's no way that somebody, you know, old and fragile can deal with that pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way they can withstand such pain that he was feeling from that flu. Like, it really fucked him up. And when I had posted that, there were a couple of people that were coming out and saying, you know what? Something similar to that happened to me around the same time. And it made me think back to go, I did have like a little bit of a cold around that time, but I thought nothing of it.
My job sent me home because I threw up.
Well, mine wasn't that serious. It was something I was able to, like, you know, work through, in which I probably shouldn't have in retrospect, but I thought of it as nothing more than a common cold, as long as, you know, I cough inside my elbow and I'm wearing gloves throughout the day because I'm, you know, lifting people's stuff. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't shake anybody's hand barehanded or anything like that unless I wash my hands, so on and so forth. But this is a situation where we as Americans are not smart. We're not. We are in trouble, bucko. Like,
really is.
Trouble.
Like, they gotta teach us how to wash our hands. Like, people don't know how to wash their hands.
We as a country have to relearn how to wash our damn hands. That is a problem. We should not be going out to hoard hand sanitizer to shortcut washing your damn hands.
Exactly.
That is a problem. And we already know what it's mostly the work of. However, in turn, it's jacking up the price of hand sanitizer like $20 to $50 a goddamn bottle. Whereas hand soap is still $2 a bottle.
Yeah. But like you were saying, like around December, I had like the flu. I had a fever for like 3 days. I used to wake up with the sweats and everything, and it felt like I was dying. But then I got over it, and then I started feeling better. But it would like periodically come back on and off, on and off. It was just weird.
Kind of like me too. Well, my thing was this. because we all know that I'm a smoker. I had started, feeling like it was coming on just because of like how I would take my hits and it'd be like, it don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? So I saw the cold coming. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna start taking precautions now. I'm gonna start paying attention to what I do. So as it went on, this cold felt particularly unusual because it felt like there was mucus buildup, like bronchitis. However, it didn't feel heavy like bronchitis usually does. It felt like light, like it was just in the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was something I could, thug out. I don't think it was anything like coronavirus, probably a similar strain, but it wasn't anything, 100% accurate to it, in my case, because although I felt like shit, I was still fully functional. Like, it didn't put me in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? It just made me go.
Dead me. I felt like I was dead.
I felt like I was dead, but the worst it did was just make me drag ass while I work. And which, if I can still get the job done, I'm still going to get the job done, especially if I'm running with my younger brother because he can pick up the slack. So I was like, I just kind of like leaned on that for a little while, and like it passed within the month. So again, a little bit of Mucinex, I thought nothing of it. But there are people that were going, nah, I was fucked up, like you, Juan. And that's extremely concerning because if that was something that was occurring back in December and we didn't catch wind of this, coronavirus situation until like what, mid-February? At the earliest?
Yep.
Oh, the ball was dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, was the ball dropped. Then not only that, we put a great deal of money into the healthcare system, and our healthcare system covers as well as D'Angelo Hall.
Yeah. Like, listening to y'all talk, I'm thinking back, like, it was some days at work, like, around, like, late December, like, early January, I was like, God damn, I feel like I've been hit by a truck.
Yeah, bingo. That exact same feeling. I felt like that for around a month or so. Like every day at work, I'm just hustling through the pain. Like my body, it aches much more than it usually does after a day of work.
Can't get out of bed or
aching
nothing.
like hell. I can't get out of bed in the morning.
Like, bro,
I feel like I've been in a car accident.
It'd be like, God damn, why am I hurting to get out of this bed so bad? I just talked it up to like not exercising or something. And then when I get to work and I sit down in that room in that chair, I'd be like, damn, I'm not trying to move out this chair.
I got to a point where I was like, that one moment, that first moment where you first open your eyes but you don't move yet.
Yeah.
I like there got to a point where I opened my eyes and my first thought was fuck. And my second thought was all I got to do is get the fuck in the car. Once I get in the car, I can autopilot the rest of the day for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't autopilot.
Adrenaline would take over.
I can't.
But that getting out of the bed part, son, there have been times where like all I could do was just reach to my phone and try to call my manager, be like, yo, I can't come in today. But then I tell myself, I'd be fucking the money up for everybody.
Yeah, bro.
Everybody.
I'd be in that joint. I'd be thinking like, if I could just get on the bus. If I can get on the bus, I can get through the rest of the day.
Usually
and I'd be feeling like real queasy on the bus. Like, God damn.
Ready to Earl, right?
Yeah.
Done. I'd be on the truck like just leaned over. Canadians be like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to gather myself for the next job, bro.
Man, one time I went to work and I went in the back room and just slept. I hid. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't be around customers. Like I couldn't deal with it. I felt like I was dying. I was like getting dizzy and everything. I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah.
I
Once
was
you get
feeling
dizzy,
I
you
was
gotta
feeling dizzy too. It's like, damn.
Son,
I can't do this.
there were some points where me and Canadians would be in the middle of lifting something, and I'd be like, "Nah, we gotta put it down real quick." And he'd be like, "Why?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna pass out. Hold on, give me a moment. Give me a moment."
And right when I felt dizzy and woke up from like a good like 5 minute nap in the back because nobody was back there, I went to my manager. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. And
Yeah,
then
nah. At that point, you gotta tap out. For me, I can't tap out because it's like it's a like strict, simple policy.
but
Listen,
then my job wasn't trying to let me leave at first. And they was like, you sure you okay? I'm like, nah, I'm not okay. And they was like, just stay a little bit longer until we like have somebody cover your shift or whatever. As soon as he said that, blah, everywhere in the office. And like
yeah,
he was like
that's a,
he was like, yeah, go.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, go
Go
home.
home.
there you
I
go.
was
That's it.
like,
For me, it's like it's a matter of this, right? It's like, yeah, you can, you know, come back and call it a day, but you probably won't have a job the next day. So you signed the contract to be obligated to be out until they don't need you anymore. So, so if I were to call out, right, that would destroy a lot of things. Like that's a whole schedule that needs to be divvied up into multiple teams. Not only that, but that would cram a lot of their jobs for the morning to the point where they doing like they got to do 2-3 jobs within that 2 hour window before the next hour window or whatever. And if they don't, they're just like behind on schedule for the rest of the day. Mugs don't get off till like 8 o'clock. It's a mess. It's a shit show. I've been the victim of that. So it's like I try not to, bail out last minute. If I know I can't come in the next day, I'll give them a call that
hold up.
afternoon or evening.
Why is Tamina part of this fatal 5-way match for the title?
Because Dana Brooke is staying home.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Forgot about her.
So they just need another like mid Carter.
Yeah, got it.
Nobody major, just somebody that's going to, cause a ruckus, and which Tamina's going to cause a ruckus in that match, but she's probably going to get kicked out like second.
Yeah.
Yeah, at any rate, though.
Oh, I gotta watch this Becky Lynch interview on ESPN.
My final thoughts is just stay safe.
Like, please. Like, it's not worth being out here. And this exposure.
Like, I feel like it's gonna be coming to a point too for me and my job, because like I told y'all before, they shut the day rooms down in my job, so I'm literally there doing nothing. Like my boss texted me today, was like, if you want, you could leave early. You just be there to give TT a break at 11. And I'm like, bro, I might seriously consider it. But if I'm not gonna do nothing, I might just stay there anyway and just get all my money.
Yeah, exactly. You ain't doing nothing in the house. You might as well stick around and do nothing at the job. You got a phone.
Got a phone, got his PlayStation app, bring your controller, just chill.
Everything you can do in the
got
house.
Netflix on your phone. Get Netflix on your phone or whatever. Watch a movie for the whole day. Chill.
I'd kill to be able to do that.
I gotta be careful of that jump though, because they got 2 people on the 7th floor in like contact isolation, and that jump said like keep the door closed at all times. And trying to find out they was coughing a lot and had like really high fevers. They not trying to tell us if they had it, but
Or they're trumping the entire situation. Gotcha.
I ain't going nowhere near none of those rooms.
More likely they got it.
I'm like, yeah, no. Like I will not go in those rooms. I won't even go by those rooms. I'll be way on the other side of the hallway. I'm not,
It just ain't worth it. And people just be like stupid. It's like we joke around on Twitter, be like, oh, these round trip fares are low as hell now. I'm about to yo, this motherfucker, yo, take this trip to Paris. I might die there. Like, we joke around about it, but motherfuckers are going out on spring break out in Florida and coming back with coronavirus. Like,
Syphilis and the corona.
you know what I'm saying? You're only supposed to come back with syphilis, if anything.
I heard them like
just
these
take
are
it
like
serious, y'all.
there's
Like,
like
Excuse
multiple.
me. So I heard.
yeah, y'all. Just
Never went to spring break.
take
Actually,
that
my mom-
take that John serious though, cause that man Slim Thug said that he ain't had no symptoms for real.
Yeah.
He ain't got that John.
Scarface tested positive recently.
Yeah, I seen that too.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Quick tidbit before we bring it home, right? I never went to spring break.
neither did I.
My mom gave me 3 choices my senior year. The top of my senior year. Like literally maybe 2-3 days before my first day of my senior year. She was like, listen, we ain't got no money for that full senior experience shit. You know it. So I'm gonna give you 1 of 3 choices. we could either do your senior picture in the yearbook. You could go on spring break, or you can go to prom. No brainer for me. I'm going to prom.
Wrong. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. The prom is the end all be all of high school memories. I was like, I don't even like the beach. I had a near death experience when I was 10 at the beach. I don't fuck with the beach at all. So spring break was a no brainer for me to get rid of. I was like, the senior pictures is like, yeah. Aside from my yearbook picture every year, I barely existed in high school on record, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? By picture. I'm not pictured in the senior yearbook for 09. So prom just made perfect sense. However, the catch was I had to find a date. And that's where it went left, boys. Well, I couldn't find a date to save my damn life. Literally a month before the prom, I asked one of my closest childhood friends, Melissa, to if she wanted to go. She was like, "Yeah, straight." So we ended up going together. Proud of Melissa, actually. She has a nail salon business going on. Yeah, y'all need to get hip to that. If y'all watch and DM me for her information, she can hook you up. That's just wavy. Anybody else? No? All right. Bring it on, Kenny.
My name is Kenneth Whitaker, a.k.a. Hendrick Solo, the original owner of Millennium Falcon. Now, Calrissian, I was going to take care of you quick, but I'm going to let you suffer this time. You're going to be here for a mighty long time. But don't get lonely. I left a picture of Han right on the dresser for you.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
That's his best friend. A.K.A. the last Black Jedi. Feel the force around you. Like you can feel when that coronavirus coming on. Maybe not. I don't know.
Sir.
Was that too much?
What the fuck has gotten into you this episode?
Was that too much?
Also, I know I'm drunk because I'm starting to slur. Just wrap the story up. Just wrap this episode up.
A.K.A. the Black Hot Rod. Just didn't think they have what answers. I changed the questions. Play my music, junkie.
I'm too drunk to play the right notes. You know the song.
Yeah, he gone. Whenever you doing that. A.K.A. not to mean I'm a savage. Yeah, see, the hour's getting just a little bit late, and coronavirus is spreading all over the states. But with one thing the Nacho Man is good at, he's good at avoiding viruses. Yeah, Because you know the hoes like to bring a virus called love and emotions. I can't have love and emotions messing up the Nacho Man style. No. So whenever a hoe comes with love and emotions, I kick her out with my big boot. Because you know the elbow drop is just any second away, Mean Gene. I can always just pull out the elbow and point the elbow right to the heart and keep any thought way out of pocket. Oh, yeah.
Dig it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nacho Man, I'm a Savage, live from the hand sanitizer factory. Back to you, Bobby.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Go Slick Vodka. Do you know about these pants? It's like the male camel toe.
Yeah, camel toe.
Hey, God.
Feels like my balls is above my dick even.
Yeah. Right. It's like
like
ball, dick, ball.
Yeah, it's like the division sign.
That movie never fucking misses. It never misses, dog. It really doesn't.
Juan, I'm
We're
happy
gonna talk
here.
about this one episode.
You're happy up here. I'm happy you're here, Juan, because I forgot that second part. I'm like, damn, it's a part.
We're
we
going to
can go
do
with
a whole episode about Superbad. I swear we're going to.
like the
At some
division
point.
sign.
It's got to happen.
That's hilarious.
And my Facebook just pissed me off with my notification because it told me of who commented on my status. And
Hello.
If it's who I think it is.
I think I know who it is as well.
As long as you love me.
I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have spoken.
A little too late at this point.
Yeah. God damn. Wine and Black Diamond. God damn.
Oh, man. Hey, man. I still say go for it, bro.
I still say no.
It's not that bad, bro. We may have over-exaggerated yourself.
I mean, that's over-exaggerating. Me saying that I'm not interested is not over-exaggerating. It's very honest.
She cool though.
We may over-exaggerate just a little bit about the degree of things that happens.
She dope as hell, though. I'll give it that. Shout out to her, though.
AKA the very sexual. The very tight.
Very tight, yes.
Austin Powers Faja.
Wait, is Faja?
Dad is Faja.
Oh.
Yes, put it in the skin box. You see, I am peeling. Quickly, save me from myself. Nigga about to eat his skin. He said, all right, you're not going to put that dead skin in your mouth, are you?
He was about that life. That's what grossed me out about it.
He's like, all right, you did.
Yeah.
AKA the incomparable, the one and only
I hate to say
Blue Pill Cosby. There you go again with that buzzer. Do you know that buzzer only motivates me to hear the sound of success? Every time it plays in my ear, melodies of famous models come into my brain.
Terrible.
So in order to fulfill all of the fantasies in my head, I must remember the sound of success. pudding pops and pill drops. Play it one more time, please.
Like
Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping. Pills on my wrist, stay pippin'.
I don't know how much longer I could be the sound effect guy. I don't know.
I got one last quaalude to drop. Let's hear it.
The quality of that, like, that sound effect in my headphones is just.
You are terrible individuals. All right, let me go ahead and bring this shit before we get canceled because of Bill Cosby. My name is Carlos Crawford, a.k.a. Chin Music Charlie. Coming down from the rafters. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's the Heartburn Kid. A.k.a. Vic Flair. I'm still gonna kiss the girls and eat their pies. Woo!
Yo, that sounds good right now, though.
It does, don't it? Like, I could really go for some apple pie from McDonald's. You know what? That's what we're going to do after this. I'm going to make fucking Donald's. I'm getting apple pie. That's going down. And if they have the holiday pie, oh, it's going down.
Alrighty.
A.K.A. Snack Miller. Life is cliche. It ain't a bad one. First the plane land, and then the bags come. We walking on this planet seeking action. Breaking girls' hearts. Sorry, Miss Jackson. A.K.A. Gelato Graham. I technically wore smoke visors before they were even a thing. No? Nothing? Okay. A.K.A. Haystack West. Well, Moose, it's quiet around here. What is there to do?
Smoke reefer?
Yeah, no, after that. We have no one to catch. Like, what do we do after that?
Sleep.
I like where you're thinking. I like where your head's at. Good thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 84. Next week, we do a bracket.
Yeah, baby.
Kenny, you want to tell them what the bracket is on?
Greatest boxer pound for pound, correct?
Greatest pound for pound boxer. In which we will break the regions down by era rather than by weight class. Why? Because, well, imagine that. You break down
the greatest boxer in the world has to be Buster Douglas.
Okay. All right.
Shut your...
All right. Okay. That's enough out of you. Juan, you don't get to participate next week just because of that. There's no way. No fuck.
Hey, bro, go ahead.
Everybody knows Mike.
No.
Stay tuned.
That's also debatable.
I got Mike.
Do you?
Yeah.
And what about Muhammad?
If Mike was in Muhammad's... Ooh, hold on.
What about Jack Johnson? What about Ray Robinson? Ray Robinson killed a man in ring.
Yeah, that is
Sonny
true.
Liston.
Sonny Liston is the only boxer whose jab can knock a motherfucker out. Yeah, there are names in this bracket.
Yeah, it is. It is.
However,
you want to know who wins? Tune in next week.
Yes. Until then, we're off this.
We are out.